Yeah, so I do server programming at Big Pixel, and it's only going to be like a little 5-minute thing because you people have way more interesting things to say than I do. So I've been doing this like programming professionally like 5-6 years. Before moving into games, I was doing more some of your big data-y, Scala, horrifying nonsense.
Wow.
That we're talking about that was at Last.fm, like music recommendation, kind of social networky thing. But yeah, so the reason I got into games and the whole thing, the thing that I think, this is just me, but the thing that I think is particularly cool about coding is not like all the crazy maths or like harmony of the spheres style, like, but like you can just make stuff. Like just making stuff is really cool, which leads me into this. So for the last 2.5-ish years now, God, that's a long time, I've been working on this game just like evenings and weekends, spare time, loads and loads and loads of it. And that was what led me into getting this job, because I finally decided like, right, I'm done with the big data, I want to do games for real, and see how that goes. But yeah, my point of showing this off is kind of just that like, with a bit of experience, like this is totally feasible for one person to do in its entirety. So I just like run a quick little video now. I wanted to make a sheep herding game. Do we have? Oh yeah. Okay, it's fine, we'll deal with it.
Off you go then.
I am playing Spotify.
Ready, steady, hold. Off you go then.
So I should point out the players are controlling these dogs, and they're just keeping the sheep safe from the inevitable danger.
I thought the dogs were trying to eat them for a second. Like, trying to eat the sheep. Oh my god.
So this is for 2 or 4 people.
You got 30 seconds left.
Is that your voice?
No.
Oh. We had the same thought.
And that's, so I contracted out all of the music and sound, so that's my sound designer's voice.
It's nearly over.
Is there a particular language that you're using to...
Yeah, so this is using a game engine that we use here as well called Unity.
Okay.
And Unity is, well, it used to have JavaScript as well, but these days it's It's pretty much just C#, which is very similar to Java. Anyone who has like some Java experience.
Java's keeping me up at night. I hate that bullshit,
But yeah,
I like her.
Yeah, more than I like JavaScript. But yeah, that's like, my real point is that like, you can make that, like one person can make that, it's totally feasible. It's really hard.
How long did it take you, like real talk? Like,
Yeah, so that's 2.5 years.
oh, so normal.
And like,
5 years and normal.
yeah, and I don't like to work out how long I've spent on it, because like,
Is that full time?
no, so that's evening and weekends, and I think, because like around the job.
So how did you, if you were working evenings and weekends,
Yeah.
and you had your day job,
Yeah.
how did you not, I don't know, break down or just go and run
Yeah,
away?
it's hard. Like for real, it's hard. I kind of estimate, I think I pump in on on a low week, like kind of 10-ish hours a week on this, which like that's pretty achievable, like a few hours in a few evenings and then maybe on the weekend. When like if things are harder, like if deadlines are coming up or whatever, I do like 20 like between 20 and 30 probably, and like that on top of 37.5 hours here is like pretty grim. I don't know, like I've worked out some things that I'm happier cutting than other things, so I spend less time hanging out with my friends. My partner's like super supportive, which is good, but we spend like less time together as a result. But I don't know, I try to do small optimizations to get as much time out of a day as I can, and then like the work kind of goes in peaks and troughs, and that works well for me. So like I'll have one really grim like 30-hour week, and then the next week I'll be like, nah, I need to take like some time off. I'm very like, I always take some time off because I have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, I've built up an understanding of how much I can work without going totally insane. And that was like a university thing where I got that. I'm afraid I am one of those Oxbridge Russell groupie people.
Oh, those ones.
But that was like, I learned where my breaking point is there, like how to manage it. And I just, it's really hard to say. Like, it's so.
What's your name? You didn't introduce yourself at the beginning.
Oh, sorry, Laurie James.
In terms of like the little sheep and characters and stuff like
Yeah.
that, right? Is that built with script, or do you like draw it onto the Unity thing?
Yeah,
or?
that's a super interesting question. So a lot of the art assets, like the models and that, are done by me. Like not all of them, but a lot of them are. And like I can just about kind of handle modeling 3D stuff, but animations like is a whole nother thing. It's really hard. So for animations, I tend to stick to doing them in code, because it's easier for me, like as a programmer, to reason about how things are going to look mathematically. So like a lot of the animations, like so when the boulder rolls over the bushes, they kind of squish down and then they bounce back up and do like a springy thing. That's literally just scaling all of the vertices on the model across the curve. So I can say like, okay, so I want like the z-axis vertices to go like really small, and then I want them to go like up above where they were before, and then back down again, and then we'll put like some sign kind of smoothing on that, and then you just run across that curve, and I'm like, okay, I want the whole animation to last, I don't know, 1.5 seconds, and then we say 1.5 seconds, run it across this curve, and it's just, so yeah, I think in code more than I do in animation. But.
Okay. And what's your aim behind?
I'm
sorry.
Ask that, like, what's next? So
So, I don't know, when I started making it, I was like, I'm going to make a game, it's going to be really fun, it's going to take 3 months. And yeah, I don't really know what I want from it now. Like, if I'm being totally honest, like when I started making it, I was like, I'm not going to make any money from this because that's ridiculous. Now I'm like, oh, maybe I'll sell it, but like, I'll only sell it for a little bit because the games industry is mad, and like, realistically, I know no one's going to buy this. Like, I'll be happy if I break even against my expenses of like hiring contractors and stuff. So just 1 second. But I've got some really cool stuff that's come out of it. So this is on display in the National Video Game Museum, like up in Sheffield. as part of that collection thing, which is pretty sick. And yeah, just small things like that. Like I get to watch the faces of people playing it, and they enjoy it, and it's some like creative expression, I guess. Yeah, that's it. Really. Sorry, your question.
Hi, I was just going to ask, what platform is it supposed to be on? Is it mobile or PC or?
So this will be initially, like when I finally launch it, it will be PC.
Woo!
And then hopefully consoles after that. So like Switch is looking kind of likely.
The Switch. This would be a really good Switch game.
Yeah, that's the idea. So you probably know those with two dogs. So the way that works on the PC is that two people can share one controller. So like if you only have one controller, then you like take half each, and you don't have to, but like it works quite nice, especially for like young kids and adults. Like they can share half a thing each, and neither of them find it as intimidating as having like a whole controller on their own. But of course that works super well for Switch as well, because each person just has one Joy-Con. But yeah.
Are they plans to monetize aspects of the game, as in like, protection for the sheep and like little add-ons that a lot of these mobile games like to like sell now?
Yeah, probably not beyond just the purchase price. Like maintaining like what's kind of called live ops, which is that selling bits and pieces or like as DLCs or whatever, is quite like takes quite a lot of work. And especially when like I'm much better at the programming side of things than like the art and design side of things, and I feel like if you wanna be able to really push like the little assets that you're selling to get people to actually buy them, then they've got to look pretty, and that's just going to take you way more time than it's probably worth.
Have you learned quite a bit in doing this over 2.5 years?
Yeah.
Have there been times where you just think, why did I use this? And you've just discovered this snazzy bit of code or this platform that actually just did everything much nicer, quicker and faster, longer, harder than you did, and it's like, ah.
Yeah, totally. I've learned more than I could possibly imagine. I mean, most of it's about like the art and the design and the animation and like all the stuff I didn't have experience in before that. But yeah, so like one of my biggest problems is like I approach things like as a coder first, and I think like, oh, I know how to do this in code, I'll do it in code, and then I spend like a day or an evening or whatever implementing something in code, and then I realize, oh, actually Unity just has something that does it for you. Because like everyone has done this problem before, it's just I didn't think to look for it or Google like what is the Unity thing but it does this. And my implementation's like half as good, and you know, took 2 days. But yeah, like looking for other people or Unity's solutions before actually doing your own is a whole thing that I should probably be better at. Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks. I mean, I'll be hanging around to help out with people's code and that.
Awesome.